All right, we got market watcher Gary Kaltbaum with us, Charlie Gasparino, America Rising Executive Director, Alexandra Smith. Alexandra, began with you. Leading out the sad face deal here, are you concerned that the president could veto this and all of a sudden all bets are off?
Well, you know, if I could read the tea leaves, I'd be the richest person at this table. So I can't ever say definitively
Not as rich as Gary.
what will happen for sure or not. But what I do know is that I think that what the president is trying to do is he's trying to reach out to that base, right? So in this spending bill, you have a lot of incentives for Democrats who voted for it. You have an increase in military spending for the hawks who were enticed to vote for it. But
so why did the president do this?
I think it's really to reach out to his base to show them that he still thinks that the border wall is important, that it's still something that he's going to be fighting for. But as Speaker Ryan mentioned, you could look at a lot of the spending in this bill as sort of a down payment on the wall. All
right, so he can kind of have his cake and eat it too, yeah. and say, I don't like this, but it does kind of whipsaw people, right?
I have absolutely no clue where he's going with this.
You're not a mentalist,
absolutely, and I'm going to hire that guy from my office. I can tell you that. All I can tell you is that we have a spending bill, and everybody's talking about why markets are down. We have a spending bill that ensures trillion-dollar deficits infinitum, that eventually the first trillion of our taxpayer dollars is going to go towards interest payments. That's going to crowd out the economy. If that doesn't provide a headwind for the economy as well as markets, you're saying, I don't know what does. So I don't even know what to say. DACA this, DACA that. All I can tell you is I hope they go back to square one. I don't mind if they shut down the government for a week, come back with something better. But I think the die has been cast, and deficits are skyrocketing, and debt is going to get out of hand continuously.
It's definitely there. And, of course, this particularly is out of the way, assuming that the president doesn't do this or act on this. But I am curious, Charlie, what you make of the trade tariff situation and the response, particularly we've gotten out of the White House.
Not good, but if you really want to get into Trump's brains, you have to go one up from that dude. Get Kreskin on here.
Yes.
Because Kreskin could maybe figure out what he's talking about. I mean, I spoke to a lot of people on the Hill today, some of my sources, and say, okay, tell me why did Trump do an about face on the spending bill? It was all apparently signed off, everybody agreed on it, and they were like, we don't know. Then I said,
and at the last second.
Yeah. So then I said, and say, well, why is he doing this stuff with tariffs? Like instead of trying to at least thread the needle a little bit, talk big, talk.
Well, maybe he was right, Charlie. Look at the response the Chinese gave. It was rather muted.
Right, but look at the response the market gave.
Yeah. You're not seizing on a moment here.
But I'm just saying that being a blunt instrument on trade is generally not. Listen, everybody knows China cheats, right? We're there. Everybody agrees on that. It's how do you address the cheating? And the blunt force of tariffs generally hurts us more than it helps us. And China is a big market for a lot of our manufacturers. They're a necessary evil. I'm sorry. We have to deal with them. How we deal with that is really key. And the blunt force of what he's doing, most investors I speak to and most smart people that understand the economy thinks is absurd.
And I got a little something for you. U.S. Steel is down 30% in the last 10 trading days and dropped 12% yesterday. I thought these tariffs are supposed to help our steel companies. And look at the stocks, $1 billion of market cap, billions of dollars of market cap.
Now that's odd. Why do you think that is?
Since that covers the period of the implementation of the tariffs.
You got it.
But
why is that?
Beats the heck out of me. We were told by everybody it's going to help these steel companies, and it's done the exact opposite.
Maybe it would have been.
And by the way,
there are other factors here, right?
But here's the big thing.
I mean, they're all caught up in the same downdraft.
Yeah, I talked about uncertainty for 8 years under Obama. All these tariffs do is put just more uncertainty in the system. As the president says, we're going to do more tariffs. And he also talked about his trade rep, find me more targets. That's just more uncertainty for business planners, and the markets itself. We have no certainty at this point in time.
Getting back to your point about steel and why the conundrum of why it's down amid the tariffs. Yesterday, the bonds actually yields went down yesterday on the 10 and the 30, right? Even as we lost 700 points on the Dow. There is a trade out there that, and this might be reflective of that, of what's going on there, that the economy might be slowing down. I'm telling you that there.
Flight to quality.
Let me ask you about that, Alexandra, because it was interesting that Charlie mentioned. See, sometimes it's
I actually
moment.
catch. It's like a broken clock. Right, twice a day.
But in all seriousness, that people were looking at bonds as a flight to quality, safe haven, et cetera, and the stuff that Gary's taught me for years. But there was something else going on, and I've heard this echoed before to Charlie's point, that the flattening yield curve issue, things potentially slowing down, housing not quite what it was, retail sales not quite what they were. What do you make of that?
I mean, look, I think that the market yesterday was surprised. We've been hearing so much about these tariffs. There have been news and chatter, and then finally when it happened, I think it was sort of a shock. I think that's why you saw gold rise, the yen rise. And so I think that there was definitely sort of a short-term systematic response to all of this.
But do you think it's justified? In other words, when you talk to your clients, you say, we've had a good long run here. I mean, and there's a comeuppance. This is the comeuppance.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look, I think that, the stock market is up overall since the election in 2016, up 30%.
But think about why the stock market's up. It's kind of interesting. We were talking about this in the green room. When the naysayers on Trump, like the Mark Cubans and even Hillary Clinton, but Mark Cuban
Charlie Gasparinos.
No, I didn't say this because I like his tax cuts. They were saying he was going to blow up.
They think you hate him.
I don't. Stop it. I actually personally like him.
What's the matter? You seem a little thin.
If you don't stop it, I'm going to unbutton this one and show you my gold chains. The naysayers of the markets, the Mark Cubans, said that Trump was going to blow up the economy because he's going to do two things. He's going to spend like crazy, and he's going to enter into a trade war. They said we don't care how much he tries to cut taxes. So what Trump did was interesting. In his first year, he stayed away from the trade stuff and he cut taxes and clamped down and sort of deregulated the economy, which pushed the market up. Now he's going back to the stuff that a lot of people were scared of initially, and that has got the market scared.